everyone. My name is Rebecca Vanderheiden, and I am the Riverbend Egg in the Classroom Coordinator here in Scott County. And today we're going to be learning about byproducts. We're going to learn about different kinds of byproducts that come from different animals or different corn or bean products. So to begin, we're going to be reading a book called Where Did My Clothes Come From? And then we'll have a fun matching activity. Looks like this. And then we're going to talk about things that we might have in our classroom that could be byproducts. So let's get started. Where Did My Clothes Come From? By Chris Butterworth. Wouldn't it be great if you could wear your favorite clothes all the time, but you need different clothes for different weather and for doing different things? You need warm clothes for cold days, cool clothes for hot days, and clothes to keep you dry in the rain. You need fancy clothes and clothes to get messy in. But what are your clothes made of, and where did they come from? What are your jeans made of? Your jeans are made of cotton, and cotton grows on bushes. The cotton seeds need lots of sun and water to grow into a bush. It takes about 10 weeks for the flower to bloom. After the flower dies, the seed pod, called a cotton ball, swells and ripens. In a few more weeks, the ball splits open and soft, snowy white cotton fibers puff out. The balls are picked by hand or by machine. Then a machine called a gin gets rid of the seeds tangled in the cotton fibers. The cleaned cotton is put into bales and taken to the spinning mill. The cotton fibers are combed straight on rollers with steel pins. This is called carding. Then the straight fibers are pulled into thick, soft rope. Next, the spinning mill stretches the fibers and twists them into single thread called yarn. In another mill, the yarn is dyed into a bath of purpley blue dye. Now it's ready to be woven into cloth. The cotton yarn is woven into cloth on a loom. This is the cloth. Then the cloth is cut into shapes, which are sewn together into your jeans. Your jeans are cool to wear and strong enough to stand up in rough stuff. Clothes are made from other plants too. Linen is made from the stalks of flax plants. It is some of the oldest cloth in the world. Ancient Egyptians wrapped their mummies in it, and the Romans wore linen togas. The stalks of hemp plants can be made into cloth too. It's so strong that soldiers' uniforms used to be made out of it. What is your sweater made out of? Your sweater is made out of wool, the long hair from sheep, and the sheep's wool is cut off once a year. It doesn't hurt the sheep. She probably is glad to be cool again. Raw wool is dirty and greasy, so it's taken to the mill and washed well. This is called scouring. Now the clean, dry wool can be dyed. The carding machine combs the dry fibers straight and rolls them into a thick, soft rope of wool. Next, the spinning machine gently pulls out the stretchy wool fibers and twists them into yarn. Then the yarn is thin, so several strands are twisted together to make wool that is thick enough to knit into clothes. Knitting can be done by a machine or by hand. Maybe someone in your family knitted your sweater. The wool kept the sheep warm, and now the sweater is keeping you cozy. Around the world, people make wool from different long-haired animals: yaks in Tibet, bison in North America, camels in China, llamas and alpacas in South America, Cashmere goats grow extra soft hair that makes silky fine sweaters. The hair from the Angora goats is made from soft mohair wool for clothes and your favorite teddy bear. Angora rabbit wool is really fluffy. What is your favorite party dress made out of? Some fancy dresses are made of silk. Silk is the lightest cloth of all, and it's a fiber made by insects. Silkworms are not really worms. They are caterpillars of a small white moth. Farmers breed thousands of them, feeding them leaves from the mulberry trees. Each silkworm makes a single silk thread and winds into a cocoon around its body. This single thread can be a mile long. The cocoons are dried and then softened in hot water. The superfine silk threads are gently unrolled and wound around a reel. These silk threads are pulled and twisted together to make thicker, stronger yarn. Then the silks can be dyed bright colors before being woven into cloth on a loom. Silk can be made into different kinds of cloth: floaty silk, shiny satin, soft taffeta, and rich velvet. In any form, it's ready to be made into your party dress, perfect for a special occasion, and you feel special wearing it. What is your soccer uniform made of? Your soccer uniform is made from fibers invented by scientists. That's why it's called synthetic or artificial fibers. They have scientific names like polyester and nylon. The synthetic fibers start as a mixture of chemicals that make a kind of sticky syrup. Inside a machine, the syrup is squeezed through tiny holes into the thin strands that hardens into fibers. The fibers pull over rollers and twist it to make a thicker, stronger yarn. Then the yarn is wound onto reels. Now the yarn is ready to be dyed and woven into cloth. Cloth made of synthetics is great for sports clothes. They wash easily, dry fast, and don't need ironing. So whoever washes your clothes loves synthetics too. What is your fleece jacket made of? Don't throw away your plastic bottles. If you recycle them, they can be turned into fleece. It takes about 12 bottles to make a fleece jacket. At the recycling plant, the plastic is sorted into different colors, chopped into pieces, washed, and dried. The pieces are melted into sticky syrup called polyester. This syrup is squeezed through tiny holes and comes out of threads that cool and harden. The threads are then stretched out and put through a hot crimping machine, which makes the fibers crinkle. When they cool, they feel soft and fluffy like wool. Number 4, the fibers are carded, spun, and dyed, then knitted into cloth. The cloth is then brushed hard on one side and to make it fluffy on one side to make it fluff up. What are your boots made out of? Your rain boots are made of rubber, a juice that comes from a tree. The rubber trees grow in hot, rainy forests. Inside their bark flows a sticky white juice called latex. Every day, workers make a long cut in the bark of each tree. It's called tapping. So the latex runs down and drips into a cup. The latex is then mixed with acid. This makes a lumpy mixture that is poured into molds. It sets and dries into hard blocks. The blocks of rubber are taken to a factory and pushed through hot rollers. This is done over and over again until the rubber is then soft and stretchy sheets. As it gets smoother, color is then mixed in. Then the rubber is put through another roller and rolled onto thinner sheets. Boot shapes are cut into the sheets. The shapes are pressed around the boot mold and their edges are heated to melt them together. Pull on your rain boots and stomp into the puddles. Your boots are waterproof and your feet stay dry. Here are some recycling facts. The end. So after reading our book, Where Did My Clothes Come From? I hope this kind of sparked some curiosity about what kind of byproducts actually come from products that we might use every day. For example, where did our jeans come from? So everybody has a pair of jeans most likely, and jeans are made out of cotton. And cotton is a plant that is actually not grown in Iowa, but it is grown in our southern states. And a machine like this, it's kind of like a combine, picks the cotton and then they take apart the cotton and they thread it into our jeans. Maybe even my shirt that I'm wearing today could be made out of cotton, so you'll have to check the tag and see if your shirts contain cotton as well. Another item is maybe we have some wool socks, and that is our wool socks is a byproduct of something that sheep give us, which is wool. And then another one that I want to hit on is rubber boots. So a lot of us have maybe some rain boots for when it has bad weather, and that rubber is actually made from a juice that comes from trees. But there's not all boots or shoes are made out of rubber, so some of them are made out of leather. And leather is a byproduct that is something that is made out of cows. Actually the cow skin, which is called cow hide. So there are many byproducts that come from different animals, different plants that you might not know of. So we are going to have a fun activity, and it's like a matching game, and you have 4 different options. You have beef, pork, corn, and soybeans. So you have 4 spots to fill for each of these, and then you have cutouts right here, and you are going to cut out each individual square, and you're going to try to figure out which of these it belongs to which product. What byproduct is this? This is all secondary products, and what was the main product at one time? Talk with your peers. If your teacher wants you to, maybe work individually, or you guys can work in groups. So take about 10 minutes to do this activity and glue your little cube answers into the slots that you think they belong. Maybe just take a second and just place them in the spots before you glue them, and then we can go over as a class the right answers. After taking a couple of minutes to think about what is a byproduct of each of these products, main products, I have the answer key with me right here. So hopefully you didn't glue them down, so then you can maybe move some of them around. So the first one for the beef is the leather coat jacket. And remember, I mentioned that leather is made out of cow hide. Then we have paint, that is a beef product as well, a paintbrush, and then like I mentioned earlier, leather shoes. And then over here we have pork, which is a pig. The football, not many of you might know this, but footballs, basketballs, volleyballs are all made out of pig hide, which is pig skin, or it could even be cow skin. So this football could probably go for either cow or the pig, but we're gonna have it in the pig section today. And then chalk is a byproduct of pigs, and so is our safety gloves and a drum. Then below, so those are our 2 animals, and then now we have corn and soybeans. So corn, some byproducts of corn are Tootsie Rolls and the cattle feed. So there is, inside cattle feed, there is like crushed up corn. And then we have Fritos corn chips. So it's kind of, it's a corn byproduct. They have corn inside our Fritos, and then ethanol. Ethanol is what goes into our cars, and that is it's a corn product. It's about like 15% of our ethanol that goes into our vehicles. The gas is 15% of it is corn. And then we have soybeans over here, and some of us might drink soy milk. That is a soybean byproduct. And then vegetable oil, our soy sauce that we might put on some noodles or some broccoli. And then we have crayons is a byproduct of soybeans. So after going through our list, I want you to look around the room and maybe think about what are some other byproducts that is a secondary product that was transformed into something else. Maybe it's your desk. What is your desk made out of? Probably wood, right? So wood, that's from trees. So that your desk is a byproduct. Or the pencil that you're using has wood in it. What's another byproduct that you could find in your classroom? Take a minute and think. What are you writing on? We have paper, right? Paper is made out of trees as well. So I want you to take a minute and look around the room. If your teacher wants you to, you can get up and kind of browse around the room, and I want you to make a list and then have a group discussion of all the byproducts that you come up with. And then to wrap up our activity, I have some riddles for us. So your teacher can read off the riddle, and then I want you guys to talk and figure out what would be the answer. What is going to be the byproduct? For example, the first one goes, I am a byproduct of trees. I'm found on/in your school desk. If you need to write a story, you're going to need me. Who am I? The answer is paper. We need paper to write on stuff, and it's most likely found in your desk. So I hope you have fun with these riddles and enjoy this lesson, and I'll see you guys next month.